Thank you very much for your patience. We're joined with the head coach of the Jamaica Senior Men's National Team, Coach Steve McLaren. We'll now open the floor for questions from members of the media. Please raise your hand, and once you're indicated, then you can be able to pose your question to Coach McLaren. Gregory, start us off.
Coach, back to winning ways for Jamaica, back at the top of the table. Before the game, you have spoken about the importance of the wingers bringing energy. We saw where CFAS, all those wingers really brought energy and created those opportunities for the goal. Can you speak about the performance as well as the attackers' influence?
As you say, I think it was a great response from the team. And what we wanted was to be back in control of the group. Got to thank Trinidad for getting a result at Curacao, and still a lot of work to do. But we're pleased with the reaction, pleased with the performance. Changed a few things, brought in energy really, and the players responded. You know, well done to those who unfortunately didn't play, but they've contributed to getting the team ready. Congratulations to the team who started. Well done, and well done to the subs who came on. We knew this game was going to be for 95 minutes, and everybody was ready, impacted, good start, got the lead, controlled the game, 75% possession, 28 shots on goal. You couldn't ask for any more, maybe apart from a few more goals, but let's not be greedy. And now it's about the players staying healthy, getting some minutes at the club, and coming back for what are two absolutely massive games in a few weeks.
Thanks, Gregory. Jamal?
Yes, Coach. It was a very impressive attacking display. We saw some good passage of play in the middle of the park as well. The defense probably was not as tested as the rest of the team might have been. What lessons do you think can we take from each of the different departments going into the final?
It shows that, you know, I picked the squad, and what's happening to the squad now from a year ago is that maybe we had players up there and then the squad members down there. Now the squad's come together, and you know, it's the trust that you have to put in the players to start, to come on, to impact. And you know, if you watch us training, you know, the competition is very fierce. So we have got, you know, I think in the year the squad has accelerated. We brought new players in, so we're delighted that the squad is strong, and we will need that for the next two games.
Thank you, Jamal. Trish?
Good night, Coach. Talk to me about the performance. Was it that the turf, when you were in Curacao, how tough was it? Because the changes tonight, the substitutions, were almost a perfection. Players, you know, being slotted in at the right time, going into the positions that's very fitting for them. But was it just the turf, or what would have happened against Curacao, and how you changed that within the short period of time to not get the results tonight?
I'm not making excuses, but the turf was always going to be a factor. And talking to Bermuda, Michael, the Bermuda head coach, you know, he kind of criticised the surface, but we made no excuses. It took us 20 minutes to really adapt. And as I said, after that, we had opportunities to score. That's football. It turned around. When you look at the stats again, you know, that could have easily been a different result. The reaction was the key thing to making sure that we at least won tonight, and the players have done that, and Trinidad have done us a favour as well.
They sure did. In a team sport, I think, you know, especially when you get the results of a 4-0 win, you credit everybody. But talk to me about the introduction tonight of starting the young player Kaheem Dixon and the introduction of Whisper, who came on, Lujan Richards came on and did tremendously well, and the same for even Cephas. Talk to me about those three players.
Cephas is always a threat. Kaheem is now playing first team football regularly, and you can see that. His work rate. We said to the players, there's nothing tactical, nothing about the way they played. It's just pure energy we need, and Kaheem gives us that. Cephas was different, that he played and started the 2 games, and we love Cadamartri, and now we've got Shamar Nicholson, who's back to what everybody knows Shamar Nicholson can do, and he had a great effect on the game and helped, not just an effect on the game individually, but helped the team in terms of how he pressed and his work rate, how he held the ball up. There was always a threat. He's in the box, and he was unlucky not to score against Curacao on 2 occasions. So as I said before, the squad has concertina to such an extent that the quality within that is a lot closer, so the competition for places is there, which is the key to it.
Thank you, Coach.
Jordan?
Coach, you talked about, Trinidad doing us a favour. Back in our hands, in terms of us being on top of the group again. It was in our hands before we played Curacao away. Now with the final 2 most critical World Cup qualifiers coming in November, how do you, one, not make that, put too much pressure on the players, but balance that with also having them keyed in and fully focused on not letting it slip?
I think the key thing was the players knew, the result against Curacao was disappointing, and they wanted the reaction. You could see that in training, the 2 days we had, the focus, and you could see that in the performance. And you're right, 2 games to go, and I said it would go to the last 2 games. And generally it goes to the last. So we've got 2 very intriguing games, but there's still a long way to go, a lot to do. We just hope the players stay healthy, can play minutes for the club, get fitter, and maybe we can get players also back that will improve us even more.
Thanks, Jordan. Robert?
Yeah, Coach, it looked good out there what the Jamaica team was doing. You made 5 changes, but the question is, how much of what we saw was what the plan was, or how much of it did just happen?
Nothing just happens. We have a structure. We have a structure in out of possession. We have a structure in possession, and we've seen that, I think, throughout, from the first game against Cuba, how we played, how we build up, and it's no different now. We tweaked 1 or 2 things, and I think the quality of the players over the years has improved. We found new players, the likes of Cadamartri, introduced Ian Frey last time, Tyrese Campbell. So we're always looking, we're always recruiting for players that can improve us, but the key thing is the character that they've got, and I think everybody kind of epitomised the character, and it was nice to see also, introducing these boys, Kira Anderson, Ian Frey, John Russell, who's been experienced, but Whisper as well, and now on the wide areas, we've got players who can really work hard for the amount they can die, and we can bring on quality players for that.
And how much are you looking forward to having the full complement of players back from injury and so on, with all that is there now, to put the 11 together for another game?
Yeah, I think when you look at the first squad that we had a lot of injuries. I think about 8 or 9 players were missing, and some of them returned. We lost Damari Gray, and we hope that they stay healthy. But I think what we've got is a pool of players, maybe 30 players, and the quality is concertinaed, so that I trust anyone to come in and do the job.
Chris?
You made mention in the pre-match press conference, that you were missing Isaac Hayden and Casey Palmer. They came in and clearly have made a difference. I mean, again, stress the importance of what they did tonight and how they performed from your vantage point.
Yeah, it's Isaac gives us that steadiness in the middle of the field, and Casey, although he's not playing for his club, we had no hesitation in flying him over for the second game, and I think his performance, it reminded me of the first game against Cuba. He was man of the match then, and his performance, not just on the ball but the work rate off the ball, his backward pressing, his tackling was very impressive. So I think him and Bobby and Isaac proved to be a real good three in there. And we had good balance in the team, good structure, which is always important. Good discipline all the way through, and controlled the game through possession. But in the final third, I think that's how we want to play in that final third, which was at times excellent.
Yeah, and also the 12th man, obviously the crowd, injected some life in the players. I mean, what a way to bounce back in front of your home crowd against Bermuda.
That was important, and we that was part of our pre-match talk, was about making Jamaica proud. And that's the players, that's their responsibility to win the games. You win the games, you make them proud. And if you win the games, you see everybody smiling. And that's the key thing, I think. If I've learned anything from my year here and the culture of Jamaica, is you demand a lot, but when you deliver, the smiles are the best smiles in the world.
David?
Coach King from Barbary TV. Coach, talk to me about what went into the selection of the front three, especially them being three players from Jungle, and the cohesion between especially Kyle Dixon and Shamar Nichols.
I thought the chemistry was excellent, and you're absolutely right. We needed energy after Curacao, and Kahim came on, and Shamar, and when they came on, they were a real handful against Curacao. Cephas is always a threat. And it was just a case of the likes of Kadamatri and Tyrese Campbell played 60 minutes, and Kahim and Shamar played 30, so I just flipped it and reversed it and said I want energy from the beginning, and also people to carry on that energy through. And the front three, I think Shamar especially, it's difficult for a 9 when you're up there and you're the first man pressing, but I thought he did it very well.
Roger?
Coach, can you just elaborate a little bit? You said your squad is coming together. I just want to get an understanding as to, are you saying that you have now 2 or 3 players per position? Is there a possibility of a long shot for anybody else to get into the team, as that settled squad is for an eye on next year in the World Cup or for the remainder of this window?
Focus is on the 2 games to come, the next 3 weeks. Still watching players, but making sure that the squad that we've got, the likes of Damari and Leon Bailey, that they start playing for their clubs and get fit, so that it's becoming a headache, not just picking a team but picking a squad now, because there is quality from the goalkeeper position all the way, and for a coach like today, you can change and nothing changes, it carries on and sometimes gets better.
Daniel?
Right, Coach. You spoke about the quality of the team. Dejan was initially left out of the 26 after his cameo against Curacao, what you saw today. Obviously, there are no automatic places, but does he become more of one of the first picks when selecting the next squad once he remains healthy?
I think we followed him up for a year, and we visited Chelsea in the summer, where they give us a real in-depth analysis of where Whisper was, and he was just coming back from injury. They were monitoring him, controlling his minutes. So we followed him, and he was getting 45 minutes, and he was getting 50 minutes, and Chelsea were kind of managing him. And you know, I've for a year now, and I've wanted to pick Whisper in the squad. And when we did at the beginning, he wasn't playing 45 minutes. Happened that weekend he played 90 minutes, but he's been playing under 21 football for Chelsea, and so he still had a lot to do. We got him in, as you say. We threw him on for 30 minutes. You could see the quality he had. The 2 days training we've had with him has just emphasised even more what a player that he can be. There's a long way to go, but I think in the two cameo performances, he's really impressed, looked a threat, and what an addition to the squad. I think he's might have taken that upper level. As I say, we've worked with him for 2 days. We've seen him in 30 minutes, and there are certainly some talent there.
And finally, Marlon.
Good night, coach. Just going back to the game, the first 20 minutes, Bermuda were compact and then I had space in behind. Is there any concern still about the build-up play being a little bit too slow to break on a low block?
No. You know, the football is played at sometimes at 10 miles an hour, and then you've got to know the right time to quicken it and go 90 miles an hour, and the patience. I think that was key in Curacao. The first 20 minutes, especially half an hour, we were playing too quick, and we were forcing it and losing the ball, and then we were out of shape, out of our structure. So today was, and Curacao after 30 minutes, when we calmed down and kept the ball, we controlled the game, and we did similar today. So I wasn't concerned about. We were just probing, because as you say, Bermuda were well organised, very compact. There wasn't many spaces, but if you continue to move the ball, spaces arrive, and they did, and we took advantage.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.